guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been posting like my 2020 recap videos and I know like they're really low and the vibe is not that happy, and that's just because that's how my 2020 was, but alhamdulillah my 2021 is so much better. And I actually like feel really comfortable sharing with you guys my Step 2 CK kind of study resources, because this is the first time in my medical school career where I really feel comfortable with my performance. And then this video is actually also sponsored by Care Of, which I've been taking their vitamins for about like 7 months, and I really love them, so I'm gonna touch on them in a second. Basically this video is I'm gonna share, talking really fast is because I've just chugged some coffee. I'm gonna share my top resources, like top resources. A lot of people said this is all you have to use to kind of like kill this exam. And then I'm also gonna share the supplemental things that I did if you want that like extra boost. And then I'm also gonna share with you guys my like super long, I'm gonna show you a peek right now, Excel sheet of a schedule that I made. This one I actually included every single lecture and every single like question bank within it. So here's like a little preview. I'll show you the whole thing at the end. Yeah, okay, so before I start, so Care Of is, they sent me this huge box. It's a vitamin and supplements company. Oh my god. Vitamin and supplements company. This is what I got. Here's my little booklet of like what they sent for me and like how to use it and a bunch of details. The best part of all of this is kind of like the packaging. I'm obsessed with their packaging and it's just like really easy. So before anyone says it, I was already thinking it's a lot of like product and I was like, oh, you know, the environment, but these are eco-friendly packaging. So you take the quiz, you go through and like explain like what your health goals are and how comfortable you are with vitamins in general, and then at the end you'll get like a suggested list of vitamins and supplements, and then they'll send them to you in a daily pack that you take. And I usually just store this like on my like desk, like right back there. I just grab a slip. So here are my recommended vitamins. Ooh, I dropped the garlic one. I like never used to take vitamins. I never really understood how to take them before. A big goal of mine was really like to improve my digestive health, and without getting into any weird details, I've had a lot of issues with digestive health this year, and like I've been really trying to get that together. I've been taking their probiotic blend and making a few minor adjustments in my diet, and I feel a lot better and like things are moving. So yeah, if you guys are like interested in trying them, I'm pairing up with them to give you guys 50% off of your first order if you use the code MAHA50. It's gonna be somewhere on the screen, and then it's also gonna be in the description box if you don't catch it on this screen. Okay, so when I was starting like studying for Step 2 seriously, Step 2 CK, by the way, Step 2 CS was just canceled yesterday forever, so $1,300 back in my pocket, and it's never gonna leave again. And also you guys remember that Step 1 is turning pass fail, I think next year, and now CS doesn't exist. So I think CK is gonna be the big one. So with that in mind, to study for CK, what I did when I was like starting, I asked like people on Instagram. So I have a lot of like upperclassmen med friends or like people in residency, and I kind of asked them like, what do I use? And every single person said UWorld, UWorld, UWorld. Everyone was just like, you go through your UWorld question bank and you read the explanation at the end, and that's really all you need. And then a lot of people sprinkled in that you can also use Anki, and then people said that you can also use online med ed when you're doing rotations in the hospital to just kind of like stay fresh. So I'm gonna share what I did during the rotations. Like a week, the first week or like the first 2 weeks, I would really try to go through the chapter of online med ed. So online med ed is actually a completely free service, and you can get all of their lectures online. And Dr. Dustin is literally the coolest guy ever. So he goes through with you. So this book was not free. Let me start by saying that. So usually there are the lectures online. And what I did is I got this book, which it pre-prints. So a lot of that text is not mine. A lot of that is like just the whiteboard that, you know, when you're going through the video, he's like lecturing you. So this is all filled out while you do it. And then I just go in and I take notes. Then I would use this side to like add in any extra, wow, I used to study a lot. The extra information that I found that was really helpful. And then I would feel like really comfortable on rotations because I had seen the material. After Step 1, you're just kind of like, you forget things very easily. So I was like, oh God, I don't know anything. And I was really embarrassed on rotation. So I was like, let me make sure I stay up to date. So I'd go through the entire chapter before, and then I would do Anki. So Anki is this like service where you can make your own flashcards, or you can use pre-made flashcards that are like available online. Again, all this is free. I didn't use that for Step 1, and that is like my biggest regret. I should have done it. It's like a cheat code for med school. You just memorize these things and then you're just like a human dictionary? Encyclopedia? you just know a lot in your head and you can just pull it out at like random times. You're like, wow, I didn't know I knew that. In the beginning, just go through them slowly and make sure I got through the whole deck by the end of the rotation. And then once it was time to study for the actual shelf and step 2, I would go back to online medicine. Use OB, for example. There's OB and there's gynecology. I would go through the entire thing rapid fire because I had already seen it before. So I was really just reviewing it for the second time. And then I would do the same thing for Anki. And I know this isn't how you're supposed to use Anki, but it really worked for me. So I was like, whatever, it's okay if I don't follow the rules. So I just went through Anki and I would do like the OB section just like all in one day. So maybe like 2 or 3 days. And then UWorld. So this is where UWorld comes in. So because my exams are all the way at the end, I didn't do UWorld during any block in the beginning. So then when it came time at the end, I had all of this knowledge, like random knowledge, and now it was time to put it to the test with questions. So UWorld is not free. UWorld is very expensive, but it's like, you may as well like include it in your med school tuition because you need it. It's a huge question bank. I think it's like 3,000 questions. And at the end of the question, there's a huge like an explanation of why the right questions were right and why the wrong questions were wrong. And then it gives you really nice graphics. A lot of these like things that I write in here are actually from UWorld. So that is just like, I hand wrote it directly into here from UWorld because it was such a good chart that I was like, I could use that. So UWorld is like the holy grail. Oh my god, my English is so bad. UWorld is like the holy grail, and you really just like go through that, and then by the time you have your test, you've done your online med ed, you've done your Anki, you've done your UWorld. What I did, just because we were home and we were quarantined and I didn't really have to go into the hospital, so I had a lot of time, I grabbed my step 2 USMLE step 2 CK from the people who made first aid. So first aid is the one that we used for step 1. This is like what I went through just like randomly in the middle of the night when I couldn't study anymore, and I like went to the chapter that I was looking at, and it tells you the same thing that all of my other sources told me, just in different words. So it was like almost seeing it from a different angle, which I really do think this helped me on the actual exam because some of the questions were written in an obtuse way, and because I had seen like a random mnemonic at the side of this page or something that really helped me remember, I could get that question right. So step 2 CK was really, really useful. And then you never lose first aid for step 1. It's really just like the book of knowledge. This is more like straight up facts. Step 2 CK is more like of a clinical situation exam, but having the facts from step 1 really helped. So I made a lot of really nice pictures in here, and I had a lot of really great notes, so I would go to this from time to time. And then super supplemental, again, you don't have to do this. It's just like I had the time and I was like, I'm a really bad test taker, so I wanted to be sure I was okay. Pathoma. Pathoma is I think it's like $100 for a subscription. Not free. Again, none of these books are free. You have to buy them. But Pathoma is like so concise and so beautiful, and you have like really great pictures of pathology that just stick in your head forever. It's just like, it's like a good book. So I went through that. And then let's talk about practice exams. So finally, when you have all this information, I did a lot of practice exams, and you'll see it when I show my full Excel schedule. And it's just a way to see questions. So I learned by like practice and doing, and it was nice to like see questions and like see how they were going to word certain things to pull out knowledge from you. So it was really nice for me. So I did all of those questions. I have a group of friends in med school, and we don't study together necessarily, but we review together. So we would go through and like everyone would highlight a question that they got wrong, and if they wanted to discuss it, we would, you know, go through one by one, and we all think very differently and like learn very differently, and we were like using each other as resources. So that was really nice as well. So every single form, and then every single CBSSA, which is like the practice exam, and then by the time it was the day for the exam, it just felt like I was taking a really long practice exam because I had done it so much. And like, I mean, I was getting burnt out quickly because it was months and months of go, but because I had the time from the hospital, and like, unfortunately we lost out on clinical experience during that time, I was really able to like sit down and focus and make a really nice detailed schedule for myself. So I'm gonna share that now with you guys. So here's my full Excel sheet. It covers my study plan from about March to July when I took step 2. And it covers like all of the UWorld questions and all of the online med ed videos and just some details. So if you want a closer look, just pause it. Everything I just shared helped me I had a goal score in mind and it helped me beat my goal score by 10 points. Now, everyone's goals are different. Everyone's, you know, what's good for someone may not be good for somebody else. I personally was really happy with my performance, and that's like the first time where I felt like I gave it all of me and like I was mentally like strong during the exam, and I'm just really proud of my performance, and I want to share these resources. If there's one thing that you're going to take away from this entire video, if you only have time for one resource, it's UWorld. UWorld. And then my second one would be online med ed, just to get you really competent in those, you know, pimping questions when you're on rounds with your attendings. Everything else is pretty much supplemental. You don't have to do it if you don't have the time, but it's a nice little sprinkle in there. If you are like really nervous or a really bad test taker and want like all the resources possible, I think those are like plenty. So yeah, so that's all I have. I'm about to submit my rank list for residency, which is wild, and like hopefully I'll be sharing like a really good news soon about just like life and medicine, and I'm just like really optimistic that 2021 is going to be better, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks so much for watching. Please ask questions. If you're like, what is she talking about? That is not right. Put it in a comment and like let me know what you did and what worked for you. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video.